It's been a while since we've been back with a game, and it's been an up and down sort of form. We've had the World Cup in the middle, which has made progress a bit more difficult because games have been constant. So that's where we've had our issues. But we are through in the UEFA Cup and still in a decent position in the Premier League. So I mentioned form, and this is it so far. We had 3 wins on the bounce right after our 2 losses in a row on camera, and they were pretty good, very close to be honest, 1 goal in it each time, and that's been kind of the case for most of these games either way. But yeah, after up and down fixtures here, the UEFA Cup we lost, but we were already through. Sheffield Wednesday, a decent win, and then the Liverpool game was quite painful to have a loss there, probably wasn't deserved. And then the Nottingham Forest 5-1 bounce back. We really came into our own there. And well, to follow that, we had an 8-0 win against Everton. I think that deserves to show you the goals. Now, with these goals against Everton, there's definitely a common theme, and you'll probably spot that very quickly. They started off with Milligan losing possession and nobody fighting back. Gallagher slots in a very nice toe poke to from outside the box, sorry. Davies here with a cross isn't found in the middle though, but Damien Duff turns on the attempted clearance, and what a shot that was. Now we start to get into a common theme here. So Damien Duff exploits it right the way through, and yeah, he slots that in nicely from inside the 6-yard box. Nobody closed him down. This time though, we start to go over the top, and well, Everton very quickly became exploited, and this became our move every single time for every single goal almost. Duff over the top to Gallagher, nobody was there. We're already then like 5 goals in at this point. We have a 6th goal, and Sutton over the top to Janssen, easy as you like. And would you believe it, for the 7th goal, it's not that, I think? No, it's not. Croft swings it in, and it's a bit of a mess at the near post there. Don't know what happened. And again, this one should have, again, probably not been a goal. Sutton leaping it over the keeper. Not what you expect to go away there. But yeah, we had amazing ratings, 2 10s there. And Everton did not. So this next one was the 2-2 against Liverpool, and I've never felt more hard done by than this. We've had some shocking results against Liverpool, and this had looked like it was our moment for once. But over the top, Fowler hits it off Flowers, who rebounds to Owen, and this is the same for their other goal when it comes. But Miroslav Klose, remember that name, passes into there. Janssen, though, back from Sutter, slots a nice goal. And then into the second half, we get another really good one. So Sutter drives in, swings a nice cross, and Janssen has time to tuck it away. But almost a minute later, Henshaws comes up with this awful bit of defensive play. He turns it into the path of Owen, who doesn't get the goal. It hits the crossbar, but Fowler tucks it away on the edge, and they're such a threat with those 2 strikers just ready to take rebounds, and that seems to be a common theme for them. And the last game before I've come back to you, a 2-0 against Charlton. Alan Sutter with the goals. Now, he's been a signing we've had for a while. We've gone a free, but we couldn't register him until we got to the January window. And you see that steals the ball off a defender and tucks it away nicely. This was a game all about him, it seemed. Sutton with a ball over the... Sorry, Flitcroft with the ball to Sutter was one. And he hits the keeper, but it goes in. And that was as simple as it was for that game. But it was a good game nonetheless. So I mentioned the name Miroslav Klose, and this is where I maybe move on to transfers that we've had. We've still got a bit of budget before the end of the window, although I don't think I'll be making many moves. You can see there's quite a lot going on with players trying to leave, but we did make a few signings. So the first signing we made in the January transfer window on day one was none other than Barry Ferguson, a very famous Scottish player, and I was very happy to take him in. He's a midfielder that can do almost anything in that section of the field. So if I need him as a deep line playmaker, centre midfielder, anything like that, there's no issues. And well, he is just a good addition to have there because I was needing more depth. And as I mentioned, we signed Miroslav Klose, the World Cup leading goal scorer, if considering goals from all World Cups. I believe it's 17 he's scored. Yeah, obviously this is him as a 20-year-old. Not quite at that peak yet, but hopefully we can create him into that player once again. Now, left back was a place I was struggling with and had no real depth or even quality there. So we brought in Gustavo Neri from Santos, and while he started off life pretty decently, it's not been the best, but he has only had 3 games, and I think he's going to become quickly one of our best defensive players we've got here. A defender we brought in this time, and this is Kevin Hoffland from Fortuna Sittard. Now, I brought him in because we know we were struggling at centre back. Having to bring on David Peacock all the time was just a pain, and he couldn't do a job. He just couldn't. And Henshaw, as you saw in that game against Liverpool, also making mistakes. So Kevin here has come in to make a difference. You can already see 1 star, 2 off the bench, 7.1 rating, doing really well there. And it comes down to one last signing to improve this team. Flowers was making too many mistakes for my liking, so we brought in Richard Wright from Ipswich, who is looking like an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. His first start was a 7.4 rating. That was against Charlton. Yeah, he is looking a tasty goalkeeper to have in between the posts. He definitely is going to make a mark going forward. I just wanted to bring you guys to Chris Sutton. Now, if you quickly look down at his stats, if you can see that, everyone, he has only 13 goals from 26 appearances, and you think, oh, as a striker, it's decent, but it's not great, and he was on some form at the start. Well, that's actually because I've been playing him as a centre-back. I don't know why, but he has this role as a playable role, and he's been phenomenal there. If I just show you his stats for central defence, yeah, he's got everything except for pace, and tackling isn't the best. But as a hold-up player and a passing player, he's actually been really good, and I'm thinking about keeping him there. It means that Matt Jansen has taken over as lead goal scorer with 20 goals in 18 starts. Pretty phenomenal stuff. I mean, he's got a 7.55 rating in the Premier League. He's got 15 goals from 12 there. We have a look at the Premier League. I think he's near enough at the top. Not quite there, but considering he didn't start all the games in the beginning, I believe he only came off the bench a few times, he has quickly caught up, and you can see the quality of players around him there. He's only 4 goals off the top spot of Darren Huckerby, who did quickly go past there. That is the league table at the moment. We are a game ahead. That's because the others are about to play their game, so we were probably really in 3rd place unless Coventry mess up. It's been a really, really good season so far, and we have about 17 games to go, but still a long way to go. But I'll bring you back for the next set of games. As I said, we've got 2 to do today. So that is Henshaw's on his way out. It was kind of needed after he started making mistakes like that. I wasn't keen to have him around, and we're probably going to make one last defensive signing, I reckon, in this window. And here is that defender that I signed. This was on the back of Henshaw's being sold. I went and looked for him. It was already pre-done. I just forgot about it, to be honest. So Ingo Hertzke? I need some help pronouncing that, but if anyone knows, let me know. But here you go. He's looking pretty decent. If we just hopefully get to the next screen to see that they love him, hopefully. That is quite a signing, I reckon. And there you go. Regular starter, B signing, sending a intensive language course. Welcome to the club. I think I've got a little bit carried away. Yeah, we've signed Thierry Henry on loan with the option to buy of 39 million. I probably can't ever afford that. But I thought, hey, there was a rumour in the transfer window there about it. Why don't I actually make that offer? And yeah, he's in England for Blackburn. I can't believe I've just signed him. So this is going to be our starting lineup. We have got Wright in goal as the new man there. McAteer out on the right. He's been decent at right back. Hoffland and Herzic making their debut as a partnership, with Neri still playing on the left back. I hit all these guys basically first time in a live com match for 4 of them. Ferguson, McKinley in the midfield. That's been kind of our go-to, although Flitcroft has been playing quite well there. Gillespie and Sutter also obviously playing amazing out on the wings, and Sutton and Jansen up front. Playing Sutton there just because I think he's still is well suited there, and with us having to not register a lot of the players that we've got in defence, we'll keep him as a defender for the UEFA games. Some definitely recognisable names in the Newcastle squad there, with Shea Given in goal, Alan Shearer up front. Well, those are the ones that stick out to me anyway. And Stephen Glass on the bench also stands out only because I'm an Aberdeen fan and he pummeled Aberdeen into the ground as manager a couple of years ago. And I never want to see the back of him again. The start has been okay from the stats wise, but a bit disappointing to see that, well, Newcastle had the highlight to start this off, and McCarthy drives forward. A deflection puts it into the way of Given. Could have been a goal our way if not for that deflection. Half time is getting closer. We've had no more highlights so far. The game has become quite even, quite stationary. So hopefully our boys can break something to, well, to get rid of the deadlock, really. Unfortunately, it is half time at 0-0, and from the stats, you would not think we should maybe 0-0. Should have maybe got something in that one, but we'll go in. We're going to tell them we don't like what we saw. Defenders, we'll say they did well. Oh, that's not gone well. Disappointed. Oh, that's a bit of a mixed bag. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. We've set them up to go more attacking now. See if that brings out more in the players. Hopefully, it just generates a bit more than we've had. So we're going to take Sutter off as our first substitution because he had got a little bit of an injury. And I'm tempted to put Thierry Henry for the advanced forward position. Okay, Thierry Henry's getting his debut today. We have to, don't we? Can't not give him that. And so far, this has been a very boring game of football, and I'm not sure what we need to do to sort it out. So we've put the fullbacks on attack. We've put Barry Ferguson in a more supporting deep line playmaker role. See if we can get anything from it, but it's going pretty badly wrong in its terms of actually generating anything out of this game and closely getting to the end of the game. So here's a highlight with Newcastle with a throw in. It appears to speed and they're passing it around in a little triangle, little three-way passing system going on here. We're gonna be nearly exploited as Hoffman puts in a great tackle, but it's not over yet. As Newcastle putting some really good passes in, and Shearer, oh my god, Shearer went for the shot, hit the crossbar on the rebound, somehow Wright got to that, and I have no idea how he managed that. That was insane. What do we do? We are going to. Oh, I really don't know. Let's put Flitcroft as an advanced playmaker. See if we can get anything going a bit more forward in the last few minutes. There's been no highlights whatsoever in this game, and that's really disappointing for me and for you guys. And well, in a game that should have ended with a goal somewhere, 2 XGs, 1.64, 1.39, and nobody's got a goal, and it's finished 0-0. So as much as that hurt, our defenders definitely got off to a good start, great defensive play, but our forwards just couldn't get anything in this one. And luckily for us, Coventry lost against Arsenal, so they are no closer to us. Manchester United, though, start to pull out that gap, and our next team, Aston Villa, what do they got a draw against Tottenham 1-1. So we're still looking in good spot there. So I don't actually know if I had said, but please let me know if you'd like to see what the 98 Qatar World Cup results were and goal scorers, and I can make a little brief section of the next video going over the World Cup results. I have had a look and they were quite interesting. It doesn't surprise me, but yeah, let me know, guys. There were definitely some disappointing plays in that last game. So Closer comes in for Sutton. Duff comes in for a lacking of fitness Sutter. And I think the rest of the team are pretty good the way they are. Obviously, Wright had a great game with that save that really we should have lost that game just for that moment alone. But the rest of it, we're going to leave the same. We're not wanting to mess around with any of the reserves. Thierry Henry's still going to stay there at the moment until we just give him a couple weeks to settle into the team. But I think we should be good to go with that one. A recognisable defence from the Aston Villa team, Southgate and Gareth Barry. Players very well known to anyone who's watched the Premier League. And obviously, one of them is currently the England manager. Big giveaway. And on the bench, you can see is Paul Merson, of all people. God, probably more famous for his punditry, I reckon, than his football antics. Once again, in this one, we are struggling to create chances, which really is counter to the norm, as you've seen from the results we went over. and I don't know what the issue. As I said, this squad and this tactic has worked pretty damn well. I think we are going to have to mix it up just to make something happen. So what I've done is I've moved the wingers back to a kind of a midfield position in the hope that just maybe they need to be there to grab the ball a bit earlier and then drive forward rather than being so high up the pitch to start with. But even so, generating no kind of chances there. We are working the ball. Maybe we got early crosses to bring the wingers in. But yeah, this has been disappointed. Blah, blah, blah. We'll try to think of what we can do. We're just going to say we're disappointed, and there we go. Hopefully we get something now. So Janssen over the free kick, and Bosnich has to make an impressive save, outstretched as far as he could go, and that gives us the corner. McKinley over it. Can he put it into the right area? But no, Bosnich is there to recover it, and that's our first highlight of the game. Another highlight comes, and that is Aston Villa having given the ball away, nervy waiting to see what they do. He passed it to Duff, who then inside to McKinley, and actually stretches himself out wide, but presents Duff the space, crosses it in, and Janssen nearly puts the ball out. Duff once again, and Klose heads it down for his first goal of the season. And his first goal in a live cup match, obviously. That was a really, really nice finish. He tucked it down nicely. A lot of players may overhit that and just hit it above the crossbar. But you go, Damien Duff dinks it over all the defenders. Closer beats his man to it. And we are in the lead. Aston Villa pick up the ball in our half. And they've hit it forward. Dion Dublin, who does get it past right. It goes through his hands. And an immediate return from Aston Villa. There is a reason Dion Dublin's one of the highest goal scorers in the league, and he's just shown it there. Weirdly, though, that both goals have come from crosses and headers, but there you go. Yeah, Ian Wright, I don't actually think he got a proper touch on it. There we go, 1-1 in as many minutes. Aston Villa again with another throw-in, and McCarthy has really been disappointing there. Dion Dublin goes through, and Wright, with an amazing save, keeps us in this one. I think we're going to have to put this down to positive. I think we're throwing too many risky moves up forward. Wright swings in and Wright recovers it. So we've made some early substitutions. We've taken off both left and right back to make a difference. Aston Villa now coming forward again. Draper. Oh, that was close. I thought that was actually in, but it is left of the post. We're bringing on Sutter for the last few minutes. See if we can make a change in this one. But 5 minutes to go, and it's looking like a pretty disappointing day, disappointing week for our team. And yeah, I'm good about that, because in our last episode we had 2 losses, and this one we've had 2 draws, and the team has not been that bad. Really disappointing to see that. We should have possibly won that one, but there we go. It is a 1-1 draw, and we stay second for the time being. So as it stands with the league, you can see quite a lot of games still to go. However, I think the Rangers games should be straightforward enough, and then a decent run of games where we should get goals and win. So I think I might come back for the last 2 games of the season, Man United, Arsenal, as those are huge matches to finish with. Unless we get further in the UEFA Cup, and then I can kind of maybe come back for an earlier round. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I'm gutted that in the live cup matches we are struggling a little bit. Players feeling a bit nervous when it comes to being on camera. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Take care.